Okay, let's talk about word equations. Word equations are chemical equations just in sentence form. So not super difficult, not a whole lot different there. It's actually going to be really easy if you are very good at making ionic compounds. Okay, um, so there's a couple of different ways that these things can be asked. Um, so, for example, we're just going to run through a bunch of different examples here. Uh, if it said sodium chloride plus led to chloride, sodium nitrate. Okay, if that's your equation, you really don't have to do anything except find the formulas for all of these different compounds that they've given you. So sodium is Na plus, chloride is Cl minus. We found the charges. Now we're going to cross the charges, and you get NaCl. They've already given you the plus sign. So lead is Pb. It's got a 2 charge. That's what the Roman numeral means. Nitrate, you got to look on your polyatomic ion list. It's NO3 with a -1 charge. Cross those charges, and you've got Pb NO3 2. Okay, and you just keep on, finding the charges and crossing the charges, just like we did 2 months ago when we first started doing ionic compounds. Okay, and then last is sodium nitrate, Na plus, NO3 minus. So you cross those charges, you get Na, NO3. Okay, so that's one way to do it, where they give you all the words and they give you the symbols. Okay, that's probably the most straightforward way to do it. Another way to do it, okay, is a full sentence. So when chlorine gas reacts with methane, carbon tetrachloride and hydrogen chloride are produced. Okay, so there's a couple of different things here. First, you need to really underline all of the elements and all of the compounds. So chlorine gas, methane, carbon tetrachloride, and hydrogen chloride. Those are all the things that you have to come up with formulas for. Okay, so chlorine gas is just Cl. Okay, and because it's a diatomic element, it gets a subscript of 2. Reacts with, this part right here, that's your plus sign. Okay, reacts with is your plus sign. And then methane, I'll give you any um, formulas that use common names, so, or we just won't use common names. But CH4 is methane. Okay, and then it says when it reacts with methane, carbon tetrachloride and hydrogen chloride are produced. Okay, so those things are what's being produced. So those come after your arrow. So carbon tetrachloride, carbon, and then 4 chlorines plus hydrogen chloride is HCl. Okay, and there's your formula, and there's your equation. All you have to do is balance it. Okay, um, so it shouldn't be super difficult. Um, extend the page a little bit and do another example. Sodium oxide added to water. sodium hydroxide again, I would underline all the things that we need to make formulas for. So sodium hydroxide, water, and sodium oxide. Okay, and then again, like we did in the first one, sodium is a plus, oxygen is a 2 minus. Cross those charges and you get Na2O. All right, is added to. There's your plus sign. Okay, water, should know H2O. Okay, and then sodium hydroxide is produced. So there's your arrow. So is produced. You know, sodium hydroxide, it comes after your arrow. So sodium again, Na plus, hydroxide is OH minus. Cross those charges, NaOH is your end result. Okay, and then balance it. Let's do one more example. Okay, one more, and we'll be done. I think you'll have the gist of it. You've got potassium iodide. Reacts with bromine. Forming potassium bromide and, or sorry, plus. Okay, so again, to underline all the things that we need to make formulas for: potassium iodide, bromine, potassium bromide, and iodine. All right. So potassium iodide, that's K plus, I minus. Cross those charges and you get Ki. Reacts with, there's your plus sign. Okay, bromine is just Br because it's diatomic. All right, it's in that Brinkelhoff list. It gets a subscript of 2. Okay, forming is your arrow in this case. Okay, so forming potassium bromide plus iodine. So you have K plus, Br minus, cross them, you get KBr, and then plus iodine. Okay, and again, iodine is diatomic, so it gets a subscript of 2. Then you have to balance that. Sometimes the question will only give you the first half and expect you to predict the product. So if it said, you know, what are the products of, you know, what are the products when potassium iodide reacts with bromine? Okay. What are the products? So obviously you've got, I know we're doing the same thing here, but so you've got your arrow and you don't have anything out here. Okay, but what you do have is potassium iodide and bromine. Okay, just like we did in the last one. So Ki plus Br2. All right, and then it turns into not only a word equation, but also a predicting products equation and problem. So you have to be able to predict the product and identify what, you know, 2 reactants you have there. Okay, so it can be difficult, but as long as you, I think, as long as you start to underline, you know, what you need to make formulas for and identify the words and phrases that equate to plus signs and the arrows, then you should be just fine. Okay.